That's what you get for fucking me over.
I got this.
You sure you got this? Make me proud.
While driving on the road, a man named William suddenly stopped at a store to buy food. He left his daughter Kat waiting in the car. A few seconds later, two strange cars suddenly pulled up nearby, and several masked men with guns approached. Sensing danger, Kat disobeyed William's instructions and tried to run away, but she was quickly caught. Kat screamed in panic, but one of them immediately punched her in the face, leaving her unable to resist. Terrified, Kat begged for her life, promising to give anything in exchange for her release.
I don't want your money, little girl. I want your soul.
After saying this, he ordered one of his men to open fire. Hearing the gunshot, William felt uneasy and rushed outside. He found the attackers had disappeared, leaving only the shooter still standing in place. William rushed in and tackled him, but the man kicked him away. At that moment, the police patrol arrived. With no other choice, the gunman knelt down and surrendered. William held his daughter tightly, crying out in despair. William was a retired veteran. He lived a peaceful life with his family. He played baseball with Kat in the backyard and talked with her during dinner, advising her to focus on her studies instead of sports. Kat's mother, Jen, also told her, "You can play, but you must have a real degree." Kat was an outstanding softball player and was excited about her team's progress. After practice, William came to pick her up and took her out for lunch. He did not know that what seemed like an ordinary day would be the last time he would see his daughter. At the hospital, Kat was fighting for her life in the operating room. Outside, William sat waiting in painful silence, his mind filled with fear and guilt. Moments later, Jen hurried into the hospital and burst into tears in William's arms. Time seemed to stand still until the operating room door swung open and the doctor stepped out to deliver the bad news. Kat had not survived. William and Jen collapsed in grief. After that, William told Jen he had to meet the prosecutor. During the meeting, the prosecutor informed him that the killer named Danny might only serve a maximum of 5 years in prison. If he behaved well, he could be released after 3 years. There were no surveillance cameras at the scene. No weapon was found. The only witness's testimony, Williams, was invalid because he had suffered a concussion during the attack. Enraged and in pain, William loudly protested, "That bastard killed my daughter. He should be executed or given life without parole." But the prosecutor stood firm, saying the legal system had its limits without evidence.
Mr. Duncan, we've got no video, no photos, no eyewitnesses except you, who got a concussion during the struggle. You want everything riding on an eye test? Some optometrist they put on the stand who's going to say you were in shock and hallucinating?
I know what I saw.
Your biggest problem is that there's no gun.
Realizing that justice would not be served, William quietly decided to take matters into his own hands. At the trial, the next day, the prosecutor asked William to identify the killer. But when asked, "Can you point out the person who attacked and fought with you?" William hesitated and then lied. He refused to identify the culprit. The prosecutor was stunned and confused by his actions.
What are you doing?
After the trial ended and the case was dismissed, the killer walked out with a confident look. His father, Donnie, and his brother Rory were waiting outside. Rory proudly embraced his younger brother, praising his actions. "I'm so damn proud of you, you know that."
You can do anything.
Sitting in the car, Donnie nodded in approval, showing his satisfaction.
You're a man now.
It turned out that executing someone in the street had been a task assigned by his father. It was a condition for taking over the family's mafia business. None of them knew that William was secretly watching from a distance. His eyes were burning with anger and a thirst for revenge for his daughter. When the two brothers left the courthouse, William followed them in his car. That night, William parked outside a bar the gang often frequented and waited for Danny to appear. While waiting, a young woman approached and tried to lure him into the bar. "You look like someone who enjoys having a good time, baby." But William coldly refused. "No thanks." Hours passed before Danny finally appeared. William started his car and followed him at a safe distance. When the moment came, William stepped on the gas and rammed his car straight into Danny. Caught off guard, Danny fell to the ground, writhing in pain. With his leg broken, he was unable to move. William got out of the car and walked toward him. Danny quickly recognized him. "You're the father of that girl, aren't you?" William said nothing, only pulling out a baseball bat. Realizing what William intended to do, the killer began to hurl insults. He mocked Kat's death and provoked William with cruel words.
You look pretty good to me.
Overcome with rage, William swung the bat and struck him with a fatal blow, continuing until he lay motionless with no sign of life. Breathing heavily, William looked around to make sure no one had witnessed it, then quickly returned to his car and drove home. In the garage, William began destroying any evidence that could be linked to the murder. However, in the chaos, he accidentally left behind a crucial clue, the young woman who had seen him at the scene. When he entered the house, William saw Jen sitting in the living room, watching an old video of Kat's birthday. She looked up at him and asked worriedly,
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just gonna go take a shower.
In the bathroom, he took off his blood-stained shirt. Tormented by guilt and pain, he tried to wash away the blood, but the memories of his actions kept flashing in his mind. William collapsed to the floor, crying. That night, as the couple lay in bed, William could no longer hold back his emotions. He confessed his deepest regret that he had indirectly caused Kat's death. He blamed himself, thinking that if he had not stopped to buy takeout or had taken another route, their daughter might still be alive. Meanwhile, Rory arrived late to a meeting with his father, making Donnie very displeased. He scolded Rory for his tardiness. Rory placed a bundle of money on the table, the protection money collected from the bars for the week. "Is this all? You think I don't know this town, so where's the rest? That's all there is." The atmosphere between them was extremely tense. Donnie didn't hesitate to warn him.
You come up short like this again, I won't be forgiving.
"Now get out of here." Although Rory felt very unhappy, he was forced to leave. At that moment, Rory received news that his younger brother was dead. He rushed to the scene and saw his brother's body.
Who did this? That's what we're trying to find out.
Furious and determined to take revenge, Rory swore he would find out who had killed his brother. At the same time, Detective Chen, who was investigating the case, came knocking on William's door to inform him about the murder.
What's going on?
Came here to inform you that Danny Fetter was murdered last night.
The officer casually asked William about what he had done the previous evening.
What were you doing last night, Mr. Duncan?
I went for a walk.
Yes, he was home, Jen interjected to confirm. The detective showed no suspicion, simply handing William a business card and telling him to call if he remembered anything related. After the police left, Jen immediately confronted William, sensing clearly that something was wrong.
Where were you last night?
Her instincts told her that William was lying.
I don't want you to go back to how you were.
"What do you mean by that? That was our daughter. I can't believe you would say something like that." Hurt by Jen's words, William slammed the door, leaving Jen alone in tears. The next day at the bar, Rory interrogated some of the women to find clues. One woman who had been at the scene on the night of the murder stepped forward. She revealed that she had approached a suspicious man outside the bar that night. When Rory showed her a photo, she immediately recognized him.
That's him.
Blazing with rage, Rory swore to avenge his brother's death. He immediately recruited one of his trusted men to help him. The next day, William was working at a cafe when Rory and his armed accomplice showed up, ready to strike. Spotting them in time, William reacted quickly, dodging Rory's first shot. In a flash, he shoved Rory away, creating enough distance to make a run for it. William hid behind a parked car, calculating his next move as Rory's accomplice closed in. At the right moment, William suddenly lunged forward, tackling and taking the man down. Meanwhile, Rory moved closer, aiming his gun directly at William. Feeling the danger closing in, William ran dashing through the streets. In his panic, he accidentally dropped his wallet. Rory and his accomplice immediately gave chase. Despite his efforts to escape, William was eventually cornered and knocked to the ground. Exhausted and desperate, William asked, "Why are you targeting me?"
I want to watch you die. You killed my brother.
Just as Rory's accomplice was about to strike, William seized the chance to fight back. Using every bit of his strength, he knocked the man out and escaped. Enraged, Rory fired multiple shots at William, but all missed. Fortunately, a police car arrived, forcing Rory to hide his weapon. Before leaving, he picked up the wallet William had dropped. Shaken but alive, William rushed to his car and sped home. On the way, he urgently called Jen, telling her to protect herself.
"Lock all the doors and windows. Just do it!"
When he got home, William immediately checked the house and explained to Jen that they were in danger. Alarmed and worried, Jen urged him to call the detective. "You need to call that detective right now."
Call!
Meanwhile, the police discovered the body of Rory's accomplice lying in an alley. Detective Chen was called to the scene to investigate. After checking the fingerprints and confirming the victim's identity as Jason, they cross-referenced the information. They learned that he was one of Rory's men. This discovery allowed Detective Chen to start connecting the dots. He suspected that William might not only be the one who killed Rory's younger brother, but also the person behind Jason's death. While piecing the clues together, his phone suddenly rang. It was William speaking in an urgent tone, asking him to come to his house immediately. When Detective Chen arrived, he got straight to the point. He said there was no other reason for Rory to be hunting William down. He was certain that William had killed Danny, which had led to the entire current situation. "You can try to justify it, but I know you killed Danny, and I'm almost certain you killed Jason." The detective warned that things were now beyond control, and that his ability to help was very limited.
You know damn well you started a war. Now you want me to help you. I don't know if I can.
He knew that William was a former Marine veteran and capable of confronting men like them. Before leaving, he ordered a police car to be stationed outside their house to protect the family. That night, William sat alone in the dimly lit living room holding a glass of liquor, troubled by guilt and fear. Jen, still unaware of the full truth, gently urged him to open up. "You need to tell me what's going on." William hesitated, afraid afraid that if he revealed what he had done, Jen would see him differently. But Jen reassured him, saying that no matter what happened, they would face it together. You're my husband, and whatever is happening, we'll face it together. Finally, William confessed that he had killed Danny. Shocked and stunned, Jen tried to process the truth. Out of fear for their safety, she agreed to William's plan to leave the city and go to her parents' house the next morning. However, shortly after, a gang member threw a glass bottle at the police car parked outside, causing the officers to leave their post. Hearing the noise, William and Jen were startled to realize their only protection had vanished. Moments later, Rory and his father broke into William's house.
Hello?
Using the information from the wallet William had dropped earlier, they traced the address and came straight to his home. Facing William and his wife, Rory coldly said,
Did you know that your husband killed my son?
Only because your son killed my daughter.
Because your son killed my daughter. But he was my son. Desperate to protect Jen, William pleaded with them to spare his wife. Please leave my wife out of this. If you want revenge, take it on me. But Rory, consumed by hatred, refused. The tension reached its peak when Rory's father suddenly seized the opportunity, pulled out a gun, and shot Jen in the head. William screamed in utter agony. Crushed by the loss, William tried to fight back, but Rory coldly fired again, causing him to collapse to the floor, gravely wounded. Believing their revenge was complete, Rory and his father left the house. Though severely injured, William dragged himself across the floor toward the phone. In his final moments of consciousness, he managed to call for emergency help, saving his life at the last second. When he woke up in the hospital, William was overwhelmed with grief and guilt. A storm of emotions raged within him, but after a moment of calm reflection, he decided he would take revenge on Rory and his father. To prepare for his plan, William began a harsh recovery process to regain his strength. Once he had recovered enough, he took the opportunity to steal a janitor's uniform and quietly escaped from the hospital. That night, William went to a motel and rented a room. The next day, he withdrew a large sum of money from the bank and returned to the motel. The owner, named Dante, immediately recognized him from the news broadcast. You're William, the one involved with those thugs, right? I can help you. To William's surprise, Dante offered to help. It turned out the gang was also Dante's enemy. They had killed his cousin and had once shot him. Dante opened up a collection of guns for William to choose the most suitable weapon for his revenge. This is a Glock, one of the most powerful and reliable. In addition, Dante provided him with an unregistered car for easier movement. As a former Marine, William was no stranger to firearms, but it had been many years since he had handled a weapon. He went to a forest and began a strict shooting training regimen to regain his accuracy and confidence. When he was ready, William went to the home of Rory's close friend. He broke in and immediately confronted him. A fierce gunfight and brawl broke out, leaving Jack severely wounded and unable to move. Jack begged for his life.
Where is Rory? Okay, all right. If I tell you, you promise to call an ambulance? I don't want to die like this. He's probably at the club. He's always fucking there.
Even though Jack had revealed Rory's location, William still killed him. Jack's death quickly drew the attention of the police. The case was assigned to Detective Chen, who suspected William was the killer. Determined to prevent further bloodshed, the detective went to meet Rory and his father to warn them. I'm here in good faith, wanting to end this war from both sides. I just want this to be over. Both Rory and his father believed William was dead, but Detective Chen informed them that William had survived his injuries and was very likely planning revenge. He advised Rory to lay low for the time being. He won't stop. However, Rory ignored Detective Chen's advice, confident that he could handle the situation. When the detective left, William secretly followed him home. There, William pointed a gun at him, warning him not to interfere with his path of vengeance. I promise that after I've avenged my family, I'll turn myself in. But I'm telling you now, if you get in my way, I'll kill you too. The next day, William lay in wait outside Rory's bar for the right moment to strike. When Rory and his men left, William disguised himself as a drunk and slipped inside. There he confronted Rory's father.
Get it over with.
And then William fired a single precise shot, killing him instantly. Afterward, William called Rory to inform him that his father was dead. When Rory returned to the bar and saw his father's body, he went berserk. Along with his men, he immediately launched into a fierce gunfight with William. Outnumbered and outgunned, William narrowly escaped the ambush. Exhausted, William returned to the motel, but once again, he was spotted by the woman who had seen him before. She quickly informed Rory. When Rory and his men arrived at the motel, Dante spotted them and warned William. Without hesitation, William grabbed his sniper rifle to take out Rory, but after so many years without using a rifle, his shooting skills were no longer the same. The shot not only missed the target but also revealed their position. Two of Rory's men immediately rushed in. A gunfight erupted as William and Dante tried to escape. They jumped into a car and sped away while Rory continued the relentless pursuit. The chase stretched from day into night. In desperation, Dante called a friend for help. The friend directed them to drive straight to his garage for shelter. When Rory and his men caught up, they were met with a barrage of gunfire from Dante's friends group, forcing them to retreat. Believing they were safe, they didn't expect Rory to strike back. A brutal shootout broke out inside the house. In the chaos, Dante's friend was shot and killed. Rory seemed unstoppable, moving like a storm. William, badly wounded, lay motionless on the ground, watching Rory approach, his mouth filled with smug satisfaction. "I told you I'd catch you." Taking advantage of Rory's moment of carelessness, William grabbed a nearby tool and stabbed it straight into his neck. He watched Rory collapse and die right before his eyes, but William had already lost too much blood. Completely exhausted, he could no longer move and slowly drifted into unconsciousness from his wounds. The police and Detective Chen arrived at the scene. Seeing William still barely alive, the detective couldn't hide his sorrow and regret.
I hope it was worth it.
The battle had finally ended, right where it had all begun. What do you think about this movie? Leave a comment below to let us know. Thank you for watching.